Hello everyone, I am Ayush Jalapashad Mishra, 22BC 3940, and today I will be talking about AWS Lambda. So, AWS Lambda, what is AWS Lambda? Is a serverless platform which let you run your code without worrying about servers. So, it's serverless. It is event driven, meaning it can trigger by various events like an S3 file, upload, or API request. And the best part is it automatically scales up or down depending on the workload. So that's the introduction of AWS Lambda. Key features. So let's talk about what makes Lambda so powerful. So scalability is the reason it can handle thousands of requests simultaneously without any manual setup. Pay as you go. So only you have to pay only when your code is running. So that's the cost effectiveness of AWS Lambda. And multiple programming language, we can code in multiple programming language like Node.js, Python, uh, Ruby, Go, Java, and more. Integration. So not only AWS Lambda, we can integrate many other services like S3, DynamoDB, API Gateway. So let's talk about how to create AWS Lambda. So AWS Lambda function can be created through navigating to AWS Lambda dashboard, clicking on create function. Choose a runtime like Python or Node.js and give a name, like any name. It should be unique. Next, select a trigger source, for example, S3 bucket or API gateway. Finally, upload your code, configure the necessary permissions, and click create function. That's it. So this is the creation of AWS Lambda. So here we have to click on create function. Then create our function, copy paste the code, or create a function. Okay, so this is the Venn diagram for AWS Lambda. This is the key features I already explained. Uh, so cases of AWS Lambda. Lambda is perfect for tasks like processing data, handling API requests, or real time. So the function and the handlers can easily handle the API requests and real time analytics. Example, imagine uploading a photo to S3 Lambda and can resize the image and save it automatically. Another example, it's also great for IoT like processing data from smart devices in real time. So that's mm, building a Lambda function. How we can build the Lambda function. And so setting up a Lambda function in AWS console, function configuration, code deployment options, testing and debugging. Testing and debugging can be done by uh, create a test event and monitoring the logs with CloudWatch or Cloud Config also. Monitoring and troubleshooting. So to ensure everything runs smoothly, AWS Lambda integrates with CloudWatch or off logs and metrics. Uh, and if something goes wrong, uh, you can use AWS X-Ray to visualize the issue or retry the failed events using dead letter queues. So the limitations of the AWS Lambda, the Lambda is amazing, but there are few things to keep in mind. Function can only run for the maximum of 15 minutes. If the function isn't used frequently, the first call might take longer. It is also called as cold start. So the function should be frequently accessed. Their memory limit for up to 10 GB and only 512 MB for temporary storage. So real-time scenarios. Example, the an e-commerce platform might use AWS Lambda to process orders in real time. Streaming platform can use analytics, live analytics, processing massive amount of data instantly. Uh, Web applications use AWS Lambda API gateways to serve backend logic. So that's that's AWS Lambda. And the future of AWS Lambda, the future of serverless computing is exciting because without server, like we don't have to handle the servers. The AWS is taking care of that. So Lambda is evolving with features like extension for better lifecycle control and container support for complex workload. And with serverless AWS Lambdas. So serverless is not just about running functions anymore. It's transforming how applications are built. So it's 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 the future of AWS Lambda. So it has a evolving future. So it will be frequent in like 10 to 15 years. Thank you for your time.